Hello, everybody. Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 129 to 105 loss to the worst team in the NBA, Riker, the Detroit Pistons, or at least one of the bottom feeders. Obviously, the Toronto Raptors heavily depleted in this game, so we can't overreact to this mess, this garbage we saw on the basketball court tonight. There was some positives, but overall, I think this takes the cake for the worst game of the season.
Yeah, I'm kind of reading through the box score, Ben. All of our bench players, Utah, 0 for 2. Stanley Johnson, 0 for 2. Bembry didn't shoot. Boucher, 1 for 5. Paul Watson, 0 for 3. Matt Thomas, 2 for 3, but minus 20. We can't overreact to this, but Ben, we've said that the issue is bench scoring. And when the bench has the opportunity to play a couple of minutes against the worst team in the NBA, as you mentioned, this is your chance. Very low pressure, as low stakes as it gets being a professional basketball player in the National Basketball Association. This is the lowest bar, the easiest chance for you to come out and just score a little bit. It's basically rec league basketball. You're basically playing against the LA Fitness 4 p.m. Thursday afternoon squad. How is the bench so bad, Ben?
And this isn't just the worst team in the NBA, Riker. This is the worst team in the NBA without their only two actual NBA players, right? I guess Dennis Smith Jr. has kind of been all right since he's come back, but he was on the deep bench for the New York Knicks. So they have some guys that have showed out, but the Detroit Pistons, their team, as you mentioned, these deep bench guys, the people that are fighting for the rotation, fighting for spots on the roster, just really didn't show up. The star of this one was Norman Powell. He came out with 36 points. Lowry had 21. But outside of that, Aaron Baines also played solid. We'll talk about them later. But the rest of the roster, Riker, was just a complete mess. The confidence wasn't there. And the first guy I want to start off with is Terence Davis. And I'm starting off right off the bat, the Damari Carroll Gold Star Award. And it's not going to any of the Raptors players to start off. We'll throw them out to all the Raptors players at the jump. But I went into this game in a fantasy league, Riker. I got one of these spots at the end of my roster where I sort of drop and pick up players by week, day by day, who I think is going to play good. And you know what? I say Terence Davis is going to get the start. Playing the Detroit Pistons, this will be a smooth pickup to get a big explosion on the offensive end. And boy, was I wrong. Tonight, Terence Davis, only 6 points, 2 of 11 shooting, 0 of 5 from the three-point line, only 3 turnovers. It felt like 10. He just came out and was pure chaos out there on the basketball court. Was dribbling into people, was throwing weird erotic passes. I don't know what's going on.
Weird neurotic passes. That's an
Words
interesting
are
summary
fine.
for his game. But Ben, I don't know. What was the culprit here in this one? I saw a very minimum amount of this game. So me breaking down the player by player, I'm talking more generally in this one. I'll let you take it away. What's up with Terence Davis? Because he was so good last season or 2 seasons ago, whenever he got his introduction to the Toronto Raptors, we thought this could be the guy that we develop into that new Norman Powell role. You know, the guy that's going to, as Norman Powell naturally either ships up into the starting lineup or gets traded, he's going to become that guy that we're saying he needs to get those starting minutes off the bench. And he just isn't developing into that guy, Ben. What's the issue?
It's decision making, because the guy, we've seen it. We've seen it with Terence Davis. He has the talent to really be a player that can shoot threes, can slash the rim, can play defense. We've seen it in stretches in his rookie year. He was all rookie second team, and he had those flashes. Then in the bubble, right, just completely fell off the map, became a shell of himself. And I guess it makes sense. You're a rookie, even though he's an older rookie, played I think the 4 years at college, undrafted and stuff. But he really just couldn't get it going in the bubble. And then once again, the season started off this year and just didn't really find his form, couldn't get back to that level. And when he gets out there on the court, and you brought up the name Norman Powell, who really has turned around his career after some really low points with the Toronto Raptors, Terence Davis is falling into all those flaws that we saw from Norman Powell over the course of his Raptors career, just amplified, right? He drives into traffic and then gets in the air and it makes poor decisions, right? He sees a defender on him, and it's a decent defender, but he hasn't shot the ball in a few possessions, so he's like, I gotta take a step back on this one. So it's it's really weird decision making from Terence Davis. So I got the Damari Carroll thing flying up again, but Ryker, this guy, I don't think the Raptors should look to move him at the deadline, should try and get rid of him, trade low, because I do look at all those similarities in his game and Norm Powell. Obviously, I don't know about height-wise, but Norm Powell feels a little bit longer, a little bit more elastic, finishing around the rim. But the power, the athleticism, the raw talent that he has, I think he has the potential to put it all together. But without proper decision-making, just being flustered out there when you have a decent defender on you, he's got to flip that switch to even get back to the level he was playing at last season.
Ben, I'm just going to take a step back. I like that line. I think that's a good motto for life. Things aren't going your way, just take a step back jumper, dude. But I agree with what you're saying. I'm glad that you at least agree with my comparison between what Terence Davis could be and what Norman Powell was of the last 2 seasons, and what was the real flipping point, the real turning point for Norman Powell. It was consistent minutes. It was having a clear definition on what his role is on this Toronto Raptors team. Not that you're the spark guy, you're the bench guy, like saying you're going to beat, the starter, but you're going to guaranteed get 20 minutes. You're going to have the start of quarters. You're going to close certain quarters, right? I think having that certainty goes a long way with players, but Terence Davis, to me, hasn't shown enough that he should be deserving of constant minutes. 20 minutes, and that's the performance that you put up. You got to get more from guys like that, Ben.
Yeah, 1000%. Apparently the intro's going off. We've been testing some stuff out. Yeah, that's gotta go off. Apologize for that. We were testing some stuff with OBS for some fun stuff coming up later in the season. Don't want to hype anything up too early, but apologize for the technical issues there. But yeah, I like that. That's a life motto, Ryker. Just take a step back.
Take a step back.
Be like TD. Take a step back and all that. But we'll briefly talk about a couple of guys, then we'll get to more of the fun stuff, because we did run on there about TD for a while. Utah.
Let's get to the fun stuff quick as possible, Ben.
Yeah. Utah, 0 points, only played 11 minutes, even though he started. Had some stuff we'll talk about in the segments. Bembry really did nothing. Stanley Johnson really did nothing. Paul Watson came out. I was hyped to see him play. He had a decent plus-minus there for a little bit. Did nothing really on the court. Matt Thomas, outside of the last 4 minutes, did nothing. So that's the main takeaways from this game. I wanted to see Jalen Harris, especially the video I made yesterday. But, that's the negatives. That's the unfortunate things. But we can't dive too much into that. It's hard to expect people to come up, even though you'd hope they'd step up in opportunities like this. They didn't tonight, so it's unfortunate. It is what it is. But, Ryker, let's swing into the segments. And tonight, the spicy P-lay of the day. It's going to, for me, it's going to a mishap. Obviously, if we're going for the other teams, we go to Wayne Ellington's barrage of threes that he had on our team. But it's going to Chris Boucher. He had one dunk early that was pretty nice. I kept my eyes out, kept looking, seeing if that was the spicy Pele. But in the second half, it was garbage time. The game was over. But he came out. I don't know half the players on the Detroit Pistons to call him out by name. But one of their big men was underneath the rim, and he came back and he cocked that joint back, as James Johnson would say, and yammed it down. He missed the dunk, but that would have sort of been the saving grace to this horrendous display of basketball that was put out there on the court. It was so bad that Dwayne Casey had to call a challenge just to help the morale of that player that Chris Boucher dunked on. So shout out to Dwayne Casey for helping people's morales on the Pistons, Ryker. I don't know if you saw that play, but if he yammed that down, that would have been a yummy dunk.
Yummy. That's funny. Kyle Lowry, so I'll say this. Kyle Lowry, I believe he hit a buzzer beater to end the half. I don't know if it was waved. It was from the half court.
That's true.
That was a nice play as well. I did tune in for that. But the other almost exclusive 99% of the time that I spent viewing this game, it was Chris Boucher getting bullied by Mason or Miles, whatever the Plumlee center is on the Pistons. It was all of my time spent watching this game this evening was just watching Chris Boucher get absolutely manhandled down in the paint. It was difficult. Every time I looked, I should have saved this for the OGs, I guess, but it was really frustrating to watch that, Ben. I don't know if you watched the entire game, if maybe it was a little bit more minimized, but every time I looked at the screen, it was just Chris Boucher getting bullied.
It was flashbacks of Dwight Howard and Chris Boucher's mind. He sort of bounced back in those two Sixers games, but it reminded me of when we played the Sixers early in the season. And yeah, as you said, Plumlee did his work down low. Aaron Baines actually played solid tonight as well. 13 points, 4 rebounds. Struggles, again, moving his feet on the defensive end, but I thought he played his role pretty solid tonight. He had a 3, which is nice to see. He had a couple. It looks like he's trying to dunk it more than miss those bunnies. So I'm throwing.
Did you say Aaron Baines? Yeah.
you know, we said Aaron Baines. The insurance pylon. We cashed it on the insurance tonight. This is a role I don't mind him for. Right, coming in, players are injured, he can step in. Obviously, you'd hope other people would step up. Aaron Baines is not going to be your savior when all the guys are out, but I thought he was all right tonight.
Did the Raptors try to lose this one down the stretch? I didn't notice Norman Powell in. I didn't notice Aaron Baines. Did they try to lose this one, or was there any point that they gave a little bit of fight?
I thought Norm and Lowry kept fighting. As you said, hit that half-court shot. It looked like he was amping people up, but it was with 18 in the going into the fourth quarter. Then immediately, I'm gonna find this guy's name because he lit us up. Lee came in, Sabin Lee or something. There's a lot of names. People have been roasting me on pronunciations.
Let's swing to the OGs, and we'll just make it you trying to pronounce all of the players that splashed on the Raptors this evening.
All right. Sabin Lee, I don't have the first names in front of me, so Sabin Lee, I think that is Magruder, I know him. We have Sadiq Bey. I'm trying to do the first names off memory. Plumlee, obviously, Nesmith Jr. Wayne Ellington. Savi Mayahoka.
That's not it. I'll give you one more try.
Savi Mayuk or something. So I don't know about that one.
I think it's by Mikhailuk, but I think it's Mikhailuk. But we'll get. Okay. I'm sure somebody will give us the phonetic pronunciation in the comment section. So that was great. That's a little bit of joy.
Sekou Doyum. Okay, no, that's tough. And there's one at the end of this bench. D. Servidis or something. Okay, I think that one's not that hard. So it's a tough look. It's a tough look there. There's another OG's play in this one as well. With there, I think it was to come out in the second half. We came out with the same starting unit we had. Yuta and TD. TD came in looking aggressive, ready to drive the lane. Did a nice sweep through with his right. Went up for the verse. Looked like he was about to dunk it because he gets up there, right? He gets up there, and then the ball just went maybe 50 feet in the air when he tried to turn it over. The ball just went straight up. That was one possession. Then literally the possession after, Yuta got the steal, and this guy was trying to be like LeBron, a freight train down the lane, and just bricked the layup. Missed an open layup. There's no one really in front of him, so those two plays made me say, "Oh, geez, Ryker." I don't know if you had any other ones in mind.
Those are good.
Yeah, it's a tough look, but finally, the infamous, the one, the only, Damari Carroll Gold Star Award, and people were calling for it early, Ryker. People were calling for it early. It's out now. The Walmart hat. We didn't shout it out. We're gonna need help on this one in terms of likes. If you're happy to see the Walmart hat, give this video a like. Get in the like section. The Raptors souls have been sent to the like section for this game, so like this video. And also, we're on the road to 20k subscribers, so tell your friends about the Raptors Digest, because we got a lot of fun stuff coming. Got some trade videos, got some stuff we know you guys like coming up. But Ryker, got the hat on. What do you want to sound off on it?
I wish I pulled up the exact stats, but I believe since Dwayne Casey has been fired by the Toronto Raptors and was picked up in the head coaching position of the Pistons, a far superior team to the Raptors in every iteration, every single matchup, the Pistons, I believe he has the better record against the Raptors. I haven't confirmed this, but I'm pretty sure, just eye test and memory test, that he's actually won more times against the Raptors than the Raptors have won against him as the Pistons head coach. That's pretty embarrassing given the quality of team and just their overall record. It's like they find a way to win against the Raptors and then lose to every other team in the NBA. So that's just a sad point to bring up.
Yeah, remember Stanley Johnson clamped up Kawhi Leonard, just absolutely locked him down that first game with Dwayne Casey back. Oh no, Stanley Johnson couldn't do us a favor and get the win tonight. 0 points for him, but it's a tough look. And the one thing too that could go to the Damari Carroll Gold Star Award after every game, right? We play the Pistons over the past few years, or the past couple years since Dwayne Casey's been fired, he'd always sort of run off the court. He wouldn't even acknowledge Nurse. He might throw a little wave, but he'd run off, just hyped up, amped, you know. But this is the one game with Nick Nurse gone. With Nick Nurse out of the situation, obviously he's out with the COVID, like half the team. Sergio is being the head coach currently. He came over, he was shaking everybody's hand. I was watching the end of the game. You know, gave hugs to Norman Powell, dapped up Sergio. I don't know. The beef between Nick Nurse and Dwayne Casey, I get that he took your job. I get you're salty about it, but this man won you a Coach of the Year. You know, Nick Nurse offense and stuff. It's weird. It's a weird look, that beef, but it is what it is. No slander to Dwayne Casey. He comes out fired up. This is their championship. He was coaching till the end, throwing coaches challenges up 30 with 3 minutes to go. So all credit to Dwayne Casey. All credit to the Detroit Pistons. To be fair, the Raptors, for as bad as they played, the Pistons, I think, really won this one with their lights out shooting. I think they shot 49% from the 3-point line. It's incredible numbers. 61% from the free throw line. 49 from three, 61 from the free throw. Interesting stats, Riker, but do you have any more takeaways from this before we sort of sound off?
No, let us please end this.
End this now. Anyways, you guys are the best to make this far. Check out the Twitter, the Instagram, all the cool stuff. Check out the website, the TikToks. Got some fun trade TikToks coming up. Got articles coming. Cool stuff. Riker, do you have any last words?
Ben, is this our last game before All-Star break?
We play the Celtics tomorrow with this roster.
Oh. That's a tough look right there. That's a tough look. We'll just leave it at that.